All right, y'all. So the more I look at these polls, the more astonishing it is. I'm not sure I've ever seen such a thorough implosion and collapse my entire time covering politics. And I've been doing it full time since 2012. I mean, in 1 year, Trump has managed to piss away literally all of his political capital. It is insane. Here's a guy who picked up with young people. He picked up with independents. He picked up with Hispanics. There were all these different areas where people didn't expect him to do well, and he did better than what everybody expected, right? Well, now that is going gonzo. Not only has it reverted to the mean, if anything, it's gone more towards the Democrats. And that's with the Democrats not saying anything, not doing anything. People are just watching with horror what Trump is doing to this country. So let me walk you through just how dire this situation is for MAGA. So let's start with this one here. SSRS poll. Donald Trump cares about people like me. Only 33% agree with that. Only 33%. 66% disagree with that. And by the way, it dropped 7%. The agree number dropped 7 percentage points since the last time they asked this question. So he is rapidly falling apart. And I think the drop here is attributable to the fact that he can't shut the fuck up about Venezuela. He can't shut the fuck up about Greenland. He can't shut the fuck up about giving $40 billion to Argentina. He can't shut the fuck up about doing whatever Netanyahu wants, like, bombing Iran. He already bombed them once, and he was about to bomb them another time, and it's still not over yet, by the way. But people looking around go, well, what about me? What about me? What about my wages? What about my health care? Okay? What about, all these problems we have here at home that you seemingly don't give a shit about? That's why it's dropping. Only 33% say Trump cares about people like me. Which, by the way, that's still embarrassing. That number should be literally 0. But let's continue. How would you rate the economic conditions in this country today? Ready for this? This is catastrophic. 31% say the economy is good. 31. This would seemingly validate the stuff we've heard. There's been articles that point out that basically 80 to 90% of this country is already in a recession. The fact that only 31% say the economic conditions are good, they didn't even say great. They said good. That is, oh my God, that is apocalyptic for MAGA. More. Here's a CBS poll. Do you approve or disapprove of using U.S. military force to take Greenland? This is, I'm not kidding about this. This is the high number. This is the highest number I've seen. 14% approve of it. 14%. The low number I've seen, for the record, is 4%. So I guess he had a surge in his direction, but that surge brought him all the way to 14%. By the way, look at this one. If the U.S. used military force to take Greenland, it would cause the U.S. to leave NATO, 69% understand that. Create instability in the world, 69% understand that. Give U.S. access to needed resources, 54% say yes to that. And show U.S. strength to Russia and China, 42% say yes to that. It's so crazy, by the way, I should also point out, it's so crazy to me how casual and nonchalant these pollsters are asking these questions. Would you support the U.S. government creating the Fourth Reich? Would you support a new Nazi Germany? That's basically where we are right now with these questions. All right, but I'm still not done. Let's continue here. Democrats lead Republicans by 16 points on the generic ballot among very motivated voters. So I believe there's different polls. It's anywhere between 5 to 8 points, I believe, that Democrats are up in the generic ballot. But they're leading by 16 points among the people who are very motivated to vote. In other words, that left-wing Tea Party energy is bubbling up like nobody's business. Republicans are demotivated and Democrats are absolutely motivated. CBS poll, do you favor or oppose taking military action against the Iranian regime to support protesters? Only 33% support that. By the way, I bet you're noticing a trend here that there's that 33% number, which is just seemingly immovable. And I told you guys, the number, in my estimation, the number's always been between about 25% and 33%. And we're at the top end of Trump's floor. I do think it's possible for him to fuck shit up so thoroughly that it drops to about 25%. But we're already at some rock bottom type shit here, right? I mean, 33% is abysmally small. I mean, it's hard to get anybody to that number, but we're at that number when it comes to bombing Iran. But here's the thing, as I'm sure you guys all remember, and this goes to the point about how MAGA is a disgusting fascist terrorist cult, a death cult. Last time they polled this, before Trump bombed Iran the first time, it was the same thing. Nobody wanted to bomb Iran. After he bombed Iran, the support among MAGA voters shot up to 95%. MAGA Republicans, 95% supported it. So they went from like less than half of them wanting to do it to 95% supporting it because they're mindless little fucking drones and lemmings and sheep and weasels. And they literally are incapable of thinking on their own. It is abundantly clear that what is happening in Minneapolis is souring people on Trump's deportation efforts. When stopping and detaining people, ICE is being too tough. It was 56% that said that in November. Now it's all the way up to 61%. Not tough enough. Only 15% say not tough enough. Those 15% are literally goose-stepping and zig-heiling. And they're using about right is 24% say that. How about this one? Trump administration's program to deport immigrants illegally in U.S. approved 51%. That dropped to 46%. Understand that even, like, the framing is so fucking biased because Trump is not deporting, quote, illegals. He's not doing that. He's going after innocent people left and right. Everybody knows that. If you have two eyes and you're minimally honest, you can acknowledge that. But even when you bias the question in the with the framing, you still don't get a majority anymore because people are horrified at what it looks like to do these things, to do mass deportation. Trump's deportation program, Trump's goals versus Trump's approach. Here's another one that's just total Republican Armageddon. In a one-year check-in on Trump's presidency, the CBS News poll finds the top feelings of Americans. So they ask people, how are you feeling? Like, what are you feeling? Ready for this? Number 1, uneasy, 54%. Number 2, frustrated, 51%. Number 3, unsafe, 47%. Number 4, exhausted, 42%. The top 4 are all negative emotions. People are feeling uneasy, frustrated, unsafe, and exhausted. And you only have the psychos that say confident or satisfied. It's in the 20 percentile range, 25 and 21% respectively. By the way, Republicans are truly acting like they're never going to have to run an election ever again. And I think people are realizing that. And I think it's concerning them that Trump has some grand plan to invoke the Insurrection Act and then try to avoid even having an election because he is acting like he's never going to be held accountable. That's what it looks like. So how about this one? This one I find very interesting. Ready? This is, again, the CBS News poll. Protesters against ICE have gone too far. Democrats, 10%. Indies, 35%. Republicans, 82%. Not far enough. Democrats, 48%. Independents, 32%. Republicans, 6%. About right. Democrats, 42%. Independents, 33%. Republicans, 12%. The plurality of Democrats say it hasn't gone far enough. A good chunk, a third of independents say the protests have not gone far enough against ICE. Now, remember, you turn on the news and what are you seeing? You're seeing, chaos in the streets. You're seeing tear gas. You're seeing, massive crowds of people protesting out in front of federal buildings. It looks chaotic out there. And based off this, people are looking at that going, hey, I fucking get it. I fucking get it. Like, it makes perfect sense. And if you're a Democrat, Democrats are looking at that going, no, do more. I need to see you do more because these people are fascists. They're goons. They're fucking criminals. They're the problem. They're the thugs. They're the ones who are destroying the Constitution. They're the ones who are destroying rule of law. Like, this is the moment, right? This is the moment historically. Like, people always, what would I do during the rise of Nazi Germany? Now you know. What would I have done during the Civil Rights Act? Now you know, right? Because this is, whatever you're doing now is what you would have done then. Because it could not be more clear what's happening. But these polls, man, this is some, yet again, some catastrophic stuff for MAGA. But the question is it going to fucking matter? Is it going to matter? They're moving like they're never going to have to run in an election ever again. That's how they're acting. And so this country's at a fucking tipping point, and I think everybody feels it. Everybody knows it on some level. And we're just trying to fucking keep the train on the tracks and fight back against this fascism as much as humanly possible. And it's certainly, everything feels so dire. It really does.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.